Welcome to the Void. My name is Q Throush, also known as the Transfiendling, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a experiment. We're going to try something a little weird but fun, hopefully. As part of a collection of games that I have a bunch of single-player TTRPG type games that are just meant to be explored for one. I feel like it would be fun to go through one of these with you all, and this one is Portrait in a Room of Mirrors. Now, the premise of this is actually explained in the document itself. Yes, okay, so I'll just let the game explain itself. Portrait in a Room of Mirrors, a solo autobiographical narrative game for one by Seb Pines, 2020. Requires a pencil, an eraser, printouts of the game, and an hour or so of your time. Now, I'm going to be using this the ability to type things in, actually, rather than using pencil and paper, because my handwriting is atrocious, and also I want you all to see what I write. But I still want to do this, so. This game calls for introspection into memory and the self. In these moments of recollection, it may be possible to get lost in the haze of memory in a way that is not enjoyable. While the game does not explicitly ask you to recollect harm, the associations with specific imagery may cause memories of harm to surface. Go into this mindfully and knowing your own limits. If you wish to avoid anything that may elicit potential harm associated with memories, avoid pages with the symbol on the bottom right corner. Each mirror asks you to reflect a self associated with a memory, a self lost to a moment of time. Let these reflections be recorded alongside them. A large oak door. You open it into a room, wallpapered with a matte off-white. The floor is a dark, worn wood. The hexagonal shape of the room has but one window and no furniture save for 11 mirrors adorning the walls. Meager light filtering in through the windows is reflected brilliantly through the room, as is your visage, in small pieces and discrete moments captured in the reflections of each of the mirrors. They invite you to take a look. Page fit. Isn't there a way? Whatever. Oh no, that was in the other program, that's why. Okay. You see a mirror, its reflection hazy and distorted. As you move closer, you notice a sheer gauze draped over it, thin enough to let the light through, to reflect, but still veil the mirror from view. As you look into it, your eye searching for your own, your hand reaching it out to touch, you feel as if the gauze descends over your vision, the veil draped over your head. In the memory you are veiled, a world somewhat softer, a place you are removed from you. Your vision blurs through the veil, and all you see is soft impressions that are all around you. A sense of familiarity, of knowing, but of the disconnect of feeling overseeing. What does the mirror show you? What impressions of yourself can you make out? A familiar nose, eyes, a mouth. Do the shapes your body make curve and pose as they sink back into comfortable, iterative, still image of yourself? What can you not see but must feel like an afterimage in your mind? All you perceive a gauzy haze, showing simply soft recollections of what looks back. Interesting. Okay. Let's... I see the world obscured by the fabrics of gauzy clothes I experiment with. Of digging through long forgotten things in closets not mine. Fascinated by textures I'd never been allowed to feel on my skin. Choosing for once to wear a skin not my own as I pull unfamiliar textures over my skin. The skin of an entity who thinks it is supposed to be masculine, who will not realize for years yet that no pronouns offered will properly fill the spot that they are supposed to. Will realize that these textures do not fill the void, the hole, the ache of expectations and experiences, but these textures are soft and safe and enjoyable, and one day will be available whenever they are so desired. Specifically, recalling small me going through, when I was home alone, or, left in places, experimenting with, other, I don't know how weird this is, but I'm just gonna just out with it. But, trying on, my mom's clothes whenever she was, whenever I was home alone, in middle school and, high school, and just, other similar experiments that I remember doing, growing up, and just never knowing why I felt so drawn to them, and never really questioning it much until I got into college. Whew, we are starting off strong. You see a mirror. Its frame wraps around it, looping, twisting, gilded in gold. As you move closer, your fingertips itch. They long to touch, to lazily run over its curves and edges and feel the light reflected. As you look into it and meet your own eyes, you are lost in a moment of slow fingertips and senses dripping with gold. A moment washed in light. In this memory, you are resplendent. In this suspended moment, your body luxuriates in all it touches and all that touches it. Light falls on you like a caress, and it envelops you. You move through your own motions until you are frozen in a moment of soft contemplation, at a moment of pure resplendence and ecstasy and light. What does the mirror show you? Your face, your body. How do they emote and pose and react to a sensation in this moment? Where are you? The sights around you and the light that swathes your body in frozen motion. The mirror captures all details in this moment, the color, the glow, and reflects them back, all back in perfect clarity. The shadows and light have never before felt so physical. Heat and cold and stripes upon the coastal jut of rock which my family explores on an outing. The shadows literally dripping off of a hand which is extended inside. Cool, palpable, comforting. The light, a bright, burning, aching warmth, wanting to consume any offer to it. We were exploring I don't remember where we were, but we were somewhere on a vacation, and we were on this strip of land that kind of like went out into whatever ocean it was, and it was windy and cool. It was like a summery evening, and due to the wind and the rock formations in the trees, you could literally feel the cold of the shadows washing over you, protecting you from the heat. And you could feel that intense, burning, consumptive summer heat in all of the stripes of light where the shadow couldn't protect you. And it's just a vivid memory I have of shadow and light and warmth and heat. And that's what this mirror shows me. Whew. Hey, this one doesn't have a cracked mirror. Wonderful. You see a mirror, its frame a thing of twists and curls that cause the eyes to wander and cannot stop. As you move closer, you feel your body want to twist and turn, bend like the curves and lines in the frame. Looking into the mirror, you meet your own eyes and the slow trails they leave behind you as your head slowly rocks back and forth. In this memory, you are rhythmic. There's a beat in your body that moves it. A rhythm rises and falls, as do your limbs' feet, as your body chases a sound, a feeling through the air surrounding you. Your eyes closed, you know the impressions in the back of your eyelids and the reflection that does not look back. A moment of motion, a blur, a beat suspended in crescendo. What does the mirror capture? In this moment that defies stillness, frozen in movement that threatens to burst through frame. What is your expression? Eyes closed and lost in your own rhythm. How are your limbs posed, suspended in the air in the moment before their fall? How does your body bend to the world around it? Your surroundings but a captive frame that your body is fit to burst through. I see snatches of moments, joy and pain and movement, kinetics, all wrapped together as I move in the same way across all of time. I see myself taking a test in high school government class, drawing looks as while one hand writes, the other spasms through a series of nonsense movements, following the music in my ear. The next I'm at a wedding, none of those their faces I know, save the one now joyless face across from me, as we giggle at my lack of coordination, the alcohol helping the energy bring heat to our skin. The many motions and movements through time, always moving, hands and feet and horns shaping the air to the beat of the music we keep to ourselves, as though weaving the music into spell or cloth with our fingertips. Because that's how I experience music, is always I have to move and twist, and my at the very least, always my hands will be moving when I'm listening to music, unless I am like typing or something, or like otherwise if my hands aren't occupied with actively doing something when I'm listening to music, they'll be weaving and moving and pulling just nothingness through the air with the music that I'm listening to. fun little game. We're on page 8 of 16. You see a mirror circled by a simple wooden frame, chipped and worn. As you move closer, you can see a hairline cracks in the surface of the mirror, your reflection off kilter and reflecting back at odd angles. Your eyes skip slightly every time they cross the surface of a crack in the mirror. As you look into it, you meet your eyes, you see the cracks across your vision, you feel the sharp, small disconnects deep under your skin, body recalling a time when it couldn't know itself. In this memory, you are shattered. Your body is riddled with unseen cracks and breaks. The slightest movement threatens to fall apart. Every sense a heightened impression, probing into the fragmented sections of yourself. Your static body in this moment is reflected, for the fear of shattering keeps it still. What does the mirror show you? What do you wish to not be seen? How does your body hold itself in a moment of keeping itself together? What expression do you wear, one of knowing and daring and fearing stillness and movement? What surrounds you in this moment? Does it exist to cushion, to protect and soothe? Or do your surroundings threaten your fragile state, one slight collision sending you scattered? The mirror reflects your body shattered but breaks unseen, disjointed in the reflection, its hairline cracks overlapping your own. Oh. Heads up, maybe mute and scroll once you see me, or maybe fast forward till you see me scroll to the next page. This one's gonna be a bit rough. I have a moment. I have a moment that I call my shattering. And if this weren't the perfect time to do it, I don't know what would be. I see darkness. I'm asleep one moment, then the next is sharp and jarring as I feel a massive yet soft shape slam against my face. Confusion, fear, hurt. Looking and seeing a shape, a form, a mass. Itself a mess of patterns and uncertainty. Anger, hurt, rage, all radiating. The surroundings are cold. They hold no comfort for me here. The dim light of the barely lit dorm room casting only the faintest of shadows. Pained words hot with sticky anger. Accusing, enraged, appalled. Sleepy words underscored by fear and betrayal and confusion. An accusation, an honest answer. A crack of meeting flesh as a flesh meeting flesh as the answer is apparently incorrect. Wrong. I am wrong, and I don't know how or why, but that I am wrong. The dim lights in the room barely cast shadows against the walls. But in my memory's eye, I can watch the broken pieces of heart fall off the bed, shadows of small particles and fragments trickling down into the darkness. And I can watch, as rather than hit the ground, they return to me, becoming my horns and wings. Oh, never expected to talk about the shattering on the channel, but here we are. You see a mirror, its frame a shiny, polished silver cast with the impressions of ripe fruit into the silver. As you move closer, your palate waters. The imagery of food, perfect to eat despite being cast in metal, entices you. As you look into it and meet your eyes, you are lost in a moment of contemplative savoring. In this memory, you are indulgent. In the suspended moment, your palate works its way through tastes and textures, allowing a delicacy to sit like an offering on your tongue. All of your body is lost in taste. Eyes roll back, lids sag as you savor the taste, the moment, wanting it to last forever. You are so still in this moment of indulgence that you can barely tell you are frozen in time. A suspended moment lost to taste and sensation. What does the mirror show you? Your face, your eyes, the shape of your mouth, your hands, as they are all in servitude of a small divine moment. Where are you? What is the closest to you, keeping this moment so small and self-contained to yourself? Your delicacy. How the things around you are simply reflections of your experience in the suspended moment. The mirror captures your exquisite delight in all its hazy details. Oh, this one's gonna be fun. Oh, this one's gonna be fun. This one's gonna be fun. Oh, this one's gonna be fun. The restaurant is dim and half lit, as is every barbecue joint above any unspecified point of success, for some reason. The bare bulbs, the hard floor, the scent of roasting flesh. The others in the room are but figures I am sharing space with. The most in focus is my best friend, with whom I am visiting this place. All my senses are alight as I tear and rip, teeth scything through the tender meat before ripping it dripping from the bone. Fingers holding the ends, turning and rolling them between their stained tips as I enjoy the sensation of muscle fibers unraveling, separating against my tongue, scraping enamel over what was once the protective bones of a creature. Now, my delight, my delicacy, the warm flesh and fat, making me salivate more as I remove the last morsel of flesh from one bone and set it neatly upon a stack of others. The next one is a testament to the cook, but is also a disappointment, the meat almost literally falling off the bone. But it's always more fun when I get to really sink my teeth in, to bite, to tear. But flesh is flesh, meat is meat, and meat is delicious. I love eating ribs with a passion. Fuck, God, I am ravenous now. You see a mirror circled by a frame of brown and black wood of once charred kindling. As you move closer, you smell it, the earthy scent of wood and the acrid scent of charcoal. The smell grows, wafts until smoke and the smell of fire and heat floods your senses. As you look into the mirror, you see it in your eyes, the fire flicker that reflects in them. You feel the heat in your hands and your feet and your face. In this memory, you are ablaze. There is a forest fire that runs through you and makes kindling of your bones. You can smell the smoke from the fire within it in the back of your throat. Something burns within you, an internal combustion that dares you to defy stillness, that urges you into motion, movement, action. The mirror struggles with stillness, reflecting back a brief moment like a spark, like a flash of light and heat. What does the mirror show you? How do your eyes look fire burning within them? How do your limbs motion, pose, set with purpose? The heat from them almost as if to leave their surroundings scorched with a simple touch. What do you look like and where do you look? Where does your jaw point as if a compass divining direction? Where do your eyes search and find? What about the world around you looks feeble, like soon to be fuel to your fire? Interesting. Am I going to be able to read this one out loud? Let's see. We'll find out. So you know how sometimes like writers talk about kind of like blacking out and then they come back and there's like writing? That kind of happened here. I see the eyes of loved ones in tender moments, be they sapphire eyes, brown, or changing, or altered, or artificial. I see the eyes as we connect, love and affection burning bright and hot and brilliant, love in my soul setting fire to the things around me. I see the flames of my affection sparking and leaping from myself to other objects, the universe being devoured into ways that I can make those I care about feel special. The stars being a measurement of time, the moon an icon of safety, the gravity of the world being a mere comparison used to explain how one functions as they keep me grounded to this world. I feel the burning to make sure they know how much I adore them, love them, cherish them, how when I think safe I see their faces, aching and longing and smoldering in my bones, always with the need to share more, to ensure I can burn away from them any lies the world may try to make them believe. Scorching it away as a flash paper, hoping that without it, they can see the beautiful flames I see within them. I'm a raging, flaming homosexual, and I like to be overdramatic whenever I'm telling people how wonderful they are. This is known. You see a mirror, a frame of bunching rings pulling into itself and away from the wall. As you move closer, the mirror feels bigger, a mess of metal and glass that reaches out to you, expanding in your presence. As you look into the mirror, you meet your own eyes. You feel the reaching, all shadow and suffocation. In this memory, you are surrounded. Every surface, angle, limb, movement encroaches into you. Too close and getting closer still, you become lost in a moment, yourself shrinking inwards as things around you grow bigger and bigger until consuming space and light until nothing is left but their overwhelming presence. Your body in this memory wishes to flee, to move, but your body, like this reflection, is frozen, trapped in this space, in this fragment of time. What does the mirror show you? How little of you can you see? Mouth, an eye, a hand through the shadow, an obstruction of something else? How much of this reflection is taken up by things that surround you, that make you feel small? What frames you? What crops you out, obscured and alone despite crowded, contained? What demands the attention more, reflecting back itself and not you? This one also has a quote at the end of it that has made me think of. I see eyes scared and confused and horns faintly glowing in the dim light of a TV. I still do not understand its source. In the darkness and the haze of intoxicants and revelry, a comment made in earnest because of a train of thought wild and odd but coherent. The dismissal, the swift refusal, the laughter, the growing echo gnawing and clawing away at the inside of my chest as the pain blossoms. Scared of the familiarity, scared of it happening again, scared of this being the case here too, of being ignored, written off, disregarded. I see the creeping dust encroaching at the edges of the mirror, ignoring any attempts to blow it away. Always more. Insatiable particles of the past, eager to devour my story into itself, eager to consume every story, my story, and allow it to become part of itself. The dust. And what do you do when the last person to know you, the last person to say your name aloud, the last person to tell your tale dies? Then you are dust. You are dust on the pages of a book that will never open again. And what do you do when the last person to know you, the last person to say your name aloud, the last person to tell your tale lies? Hello, this is why I have a phobia of being forgotten. I mean, not exactly. Puts good words to it, though. You see a mirror, a frame adorned in petals and butterflies, its patterns anxious, reaching and retracting. As you move forward, the detail in the frame brings heat to your cheeks, and you reach out to touch it, but pause, your hand suddenly sweating and trembling. You look to the mirror, to your reflection, to meet your eyes, but you find you cannot. Each time you meet your own gaze, the heat burns brighter in your cheeks. In this memory, you are flushed, you are heat in disparate moving parts, uncertain of how they may be still. Hot cheeks, slick palms, a stomach that churns like a high tide. Every movement feels stumbling, and you try to keep still. The mirror reflects back your timid gaze as you find yourself lost in thought. What does the mirror show you? Do your cheeks betray you, looking as red as they feel? Are your fingers twisting knots into each other as they work themselves into sweaty fists? How do you hold your body so timid and yet looking to reach out, to touch, to make contact, and exchange warmth for warmth despite the unbearable heat? What surrounds you as you don't notice it, as the world falls away, and you are all the feeling and thought, and no notice, no presence? I see every kiss, every touch, every admission and confession and action of love. I see each new interaction, new expression, new movement of safety, 1,000 messages in 1,000 ways. Eyes unfocused and confused from the emotions writhing behind them and in our chest. I feel the warmth flooding the space between where thoughts are supposed to have rooms to breathe and process being filled with nothing but more heat and warmth and adoration and safety. I see the scars, empty Skype chats, buried text messages, updated blocked lists. I see empty chats that I collect like the Yu-Gi-Oh cards which gather dust in my parents' house. I see my own lack of understanding of wanting to bring joys to others, but having no fucking idea of how to safeguard my own, other than finding more and more to bring joy to, and hope that eventually this will be the one. This will be the bit that I need to grow, and seal shut the gaping wound which was once torn open and has never properly closed over. I see the brilliant blue eyes of my choir angel. I see the soft hazel eyes of my angel of war. I see the hazel eyes of my angel of protection. I see the kind eyes of my dragon. And I know the bleeding is worth it. Alright, 13 of 16. We're almost done. You see a mirror, a hint of a thin silver frame encircles it, almost identically reflective that you cannot discern the difference between the two. As you move closer, your eyes want to inspect, to find the moments of separation between glass and metal, where the mirror ends and the frame begins, but it makes your head swim. As you look into your own eyes, you search for a moment of recognition in them, but cannot find it, your appearance unrecognizable, your eyes unlike your own. In this memory, you are lost. You are searching your own appearance for any small thing that anchors you, that reminds you of the you once knew, but you cannot find. Your body and mind numb as the person looking back looks more and more unfamiliar with each passing second. A minute passes and you and your reflection are still, frozen in uncertainty and terror and time. What does the mirror see? Is it you? Who is this person? Similar yet so strange. Do they have eyes like yours? A mouth that moves to voice words that sound like they could come from you? How does your body hold itself not knowing what it is anymore? Who is this person lost within you? Close and yet so far. A reflection but yet utterly unrecognizable. Who is this person who is not you looking back? I see Ariste, my companion, my sister in a strange sense of wrongness, a protocol, a safety. I see the eyes that can become the coldest yet witnessed by eyes immortal or otherwise, calculating and efficient. Dot is not me. Dot is not a person. Dot is an executive file in my brain that ensures the system as a whole does not suffer a critical failure. A smile as cold and condescending as Dot takes over, voicing what I am a coward to, but what must be said, but only when I fear my anger. Dot does not care about the sad emotions or the painful thoughts of anxiety. E functions to ensure that boundaries are stated and held to, and that if we are safe, or if we are unsafe, we change this if we can. Dot is not evil as all thought had whenever was first made. Dot is strange and different and distant, but not cruel or mean or destructive. Dot keeps us safe and ensures we remain. I like my funny little head friend. You see a mirror with no frame keeping it contained, just a suspended sheet of reflective glass hung upon the wall. As you move closer, the room falls away, and you see only yourself. The mirror reflects every detail in your visage back at you with perfect clarity. Nothing can be seen but you. As your eyes meet your own, you feel your stomach drop at the weight of each past moment your eyes have met your own, and looked into them deeply, truly comprehending who is looking back. In this memory, you are laid bare. Everything falls away as you face yourself, looking into your own eyes and seeing yourself for who you truly are. Everything is suspended in this moment of gut-dropping and set jaw and in seeing, looking, knowing yourself. In the stillness of your introspection, you are frozen, the mirror reflecting you and only you. What does the mirror show? What about your face and features, your body is so strikingly clear to you? What parts of you are shown with such clarity that can only be offered by eyes that have stared too deeply into themselves? There is no room behind you, there is nothing else, there is nothing but you. Who is the you that looks back? I see fear and anxiety, but I also see the horns which help fend them off. I see the claws, the fangs, the various spells which help keep the dangers at bay. I see a body which aches from pains it doesn't comprehend and which is only now starting to fit like a skin properly, rather than an awkward fitting hand-me-down. I see eyes tired and sunken, and weary, but lighting up at the smallest hint of our loved ones. I see the void within the pupils, within that utter darkness and the void within our souls. I see a being of chaos and patterns, of fangs and horns and creativity and mischief and kindness. I see fear etched into the lines of my face and around my eyes that I try so hard to not let others see. I see the weight of my shoulders that think they have to bear everything because I should have things easy, with all the advantages piled up in my favor. Yes, I do ignore the fact that the wall that the advantages pile up against is made up of the disadvantages which outnumber them. But I see a being who is slowly beginning and relearning how to hope again, despite my better judgment. Once glanced, all reflections fade but one. The one whose memories called out to your body the loudest, the memories of yourself that left more than an impression. Its image remains, a portrait in the room of mirrors. Let these other reflections fade away. Return to their pages and erase the text, only until the impression of your words remain. Only until one reflection remains, static and reflective of a moment in time. This portrait of you hangs solitary on the wall. Each mirror reflects back fragments of you, but no image of you remains within their frames. As you prepare to leave the room, look back over each of the mirrors of the reflections that once were, of a time that was once, and no longer is, and never will be again. Look to yourself, the you that stays, and even then, trapped in time, stay static in the past. Look knowing, with time, this image will also fade. Oh, that is... Oh, so many reflections to choose from. Oh. Oh. Alright, I went ahead and made my choice, and the one I went with was... Did I keep a broken mirror? No, I didn't. I kept the flustered, the petals and butterflies, the flustered one. About awkwardness and heat and nervousness, just because... I don't know. I don't know. That's the one that felt most like that's the one that I most want to preserve. Because God, so many of these are connected in so many ways. In so many ways, these are all so much connected. But at the end of the day, my core concept of who I am as a person is someone who not necessarily takes care of others, but that, like, I find my people. I find the ones that I trust, that I feel safest with. And nothing quite brings me as much joy as seeing those faces light up with delight and happiness that I have helped bring about. In short, there's a lot of pain wrapped up with this because, you know, your girl's really autistic. So, like, it's really hard for me to differentiate some things, like, brain is complicated. Honestly, you all don't need to know all the intricacies of how exactly my brain works. But brain makes these sorts of things difficult for me. But they're also worth it because all of my most joyful moments have been from helping take care and nurture others' joy. And so, out of the reflections that we created, or that I created today, that's the one that I want to keep with me for now. And as it said, eventually, every reflection will fade. Even this one. Now, I didn't go through and erase, per se, as it said, because, you know, that would have just completely deleted it. But I did go through and make them all faded as if I had erased them, because that, for me, that felt the same. I will say that I didn't realize. In the future, I might try to do this differently, where I somehow set up, like, a camera if I can do this. That said, I also don't have the option for printing things off, so that's also a thing. But this was very fun. I'm curious, did any of you play along? Because, you know, maybe go back and play along if you so wish. This was a fun, interesting little game. Honestly, I would honestly suggest, like, if you do want to play it again, like, wait a bit till, like, my impressions and take, like, you know, don't let my reflections taint your mirror. Try to, you know, if you want to play this for yourself, kind of forget what if you can. I know some people, their brains, like, latch onto memories more than others. But, you know, if you can, give yourself some time to forget my reflections and just go through the game and just, you know, see what reflections you come up with for yourself. I hope you all enjoyed this as much as I did. Honestly, this was very cathartic. Yeah. Because some of these mirrors were really good, some of them were really rough. And sure, like, there is something sad about, like, yeah, you know, good memories, like the cherishing and meat. It's kind of sad that some will fade, or to think of them fading. But also, I'm definitely going to be making more memories of that same type. And, you know, as I kind of listed on the one, I'm still always going to be moving and kinetic whenever I'm enjoying my music. Because that's just how I function. And so it's just, oh, this is a wonderful, wonderfully reflective little game. I think it was very cathartic for me. This was good. This was good. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you'd like to check out the game, I will be putting the link in the description below, as per always. And until next time, please do not forget to be kind to yourselves and one another. And for now, it's time for some very important thanks. I'm eternally grateful for all my supporters over on Ko-fi: Darius, Bunnybot, Sapphic Seraph, Kylie Coven, and Space. If you'd like to help support the channel, join the ranks by following the Ko-fi link in the description below. Once there, you can choose from a variety of either one-time or subscription options, which will get you the following benefits: adding a game to the list of things I'm going to play, get your very own custom-made Discord emoji made by me, access to the subscriber-only Discord server, or get added to the end card by subscribing at the common tier or higher. And as always, don't forget to hydrate, masticate, and medicate.